Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Cardano family. Let's waste no more time and talk about what's happening with ADA as of October 17th. Happy Friday wherever you are around the world. Appreciate all the support that you guys are showing me on a regular day-to-day basis. So I'm sure if you guys watched, my updates throughout last night, I actually stayed up very late covering multiple projects for you guys. And if you guys are enjoying that, if you guys appreciate that, please smash that like button and hit that red subscribe button so it shows me that you guys are enjoying. So we did see Bitcoin do things that we have been discussing over the last few days. And right now, ADA is down about 3% over the course of the last 24 hours. But if you're looking at it on an hourly perspective, market has seen a little bit of a bounce, but nothing to be jumping around as of yet. We are obviously going into the weekend. On the weekends, more manipulation than usual as CME futures are closed. But looking at the price of Cardano, 62.8 cents, down 1.4% on the Bitcoin side of things as well. Valuation sitting at $23 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about 1.9 billion. As always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So I want to talk about this first and foremost, and then we'll pull out the charts. Charles Hoskinson has declared that the Bitcoin cycle is no longer valid. So IOHK Charles says the Bitcoin 4-year-old cycle is no longer valid, replaced by a new era of stability driven by institutional money and regulation. With BlackRock and Franklin Templeton entering the space, markets are maturing, and the next wave will come from altcoins and privacy-focused DeFi, unlocking a 10 trillion in real-world assets. Will Cardano lead this new generation of regulated privacy-first finance? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But I know a lot of confusion when this is talked about. I still do believe multiple coins. And speaking about multiple coins, guys, if you're looking at the wide range of altcoins, the wide range of altcoins haven't really had their exciting time pretty much since late last year when we did see the altcoin boom that happened. But only a few certain coins matched Bitcoin's overall momentum. And I can argue that Cardano held up the ground not too bad either. Again, a utility project, that's something you want to emphasize on. Utility project, it's building something. There is a real world use case behind it. And I think these are the projects, especially when you get the ETFs coming up. And maybe we do hear more announcement coming in regards to maybe like a special treatment for some of these coins, especially the US projects that we've been obviously hearing a lot about. Maybe if they do have some sort of capital gain tax exemption for US based projects, I think that could trigger some of these altcoins to come out of the 4-year cycle, in my opinion. But with that being said, I still think 99.8% of the entire market is still going to have a major impact for the 4-year cycle. And I still think that applies to a lot of altcoins, maybe for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and some of the big utility projects it doesn't. But I think for a wide range of the coins, it still will. And as of now, with the way ADA is currently sitting, it doesn't really have an ETF for itself. It doesn't really have a lot like, again, in terms of the blockchain itself, a lot going on, definitely a lot going on. But you need to see that type of institutional capital flowing in for it to, break out of the 4-year cycle, in my opinion, of course. But again, let's take a look at what's happening. So if you're looking at the dominance, dominance broke out to 60%. Again, not a big surprise to any one of us, but you can see that dominance has dragged itself back below the 59.72%, which is a good sign. But if you're looking at Bitcoin, on the other hand, Bitcoin fell down to $103,466. Yes, that is correct, guys. So since yesterday, after we broke below the 23.6, we saw Bitcoin going down 6%. Yes, 6%. And your boy Crypto ZX talked to you guys exactly about the $107,000. And that's exact level we actually retested, saw a bounce up to 109, which was clearly rejected, and we made our way down to this key range. So almost filled the wick at the 102. We were only about a 1.4% move away for us to retest that. So now the question is, are we out of the woods yet? Absolutely not. We're about to close, and I think we already closed the daily candle below the 23.6 once again. Yes, we're seeing a little bit of a bounce, but maybe we do still see market making its way back down to this key range. I'm still not buying this breakout that we're seeing right now. Minimum confirmation for myself is at 117, as I have discussed. So of course, we're nowhere near that, and I still do believe we're not in the safe zone for Bitcoin. So we're obviously going to keep that in mind. But if you're looking at Cardano here, guys, Cardano's price came down. So Cardano price actually reacted quite heavily. Again, if Bitcoin's going to drop 6%, you must understand the altcoin market is going to react, including ADA. ADA dropped down about 13.25%. Since yesterday, came down to 59.34%, which of course, is a support for ADA. You can see for yourself. And again, this is dating back to late cycle as well. This was a resistance as we were breaking towards the upside, but that was our support at that range. But we still did not end up reaching the 56.9% mark. I'm sorry, 56.92 cents, price point. That's about a 10% pullback from where we currently are. We did come close to it, but like I said, we did have some support around that range where, you did see the price of ADA being supported. But if you somehow were able to dollar cost average in around that range, you're looking at about a 7% bounce for ADA. But with that being said, as I said about Bitcoin, I don't think we're out of the woods just yet. I still do believe Bitcoin, unless if it's able to get back in the 23.6, consolidate within this range, that's like the bare minimum zone, right? But until then, I still do believe some of these lower time frames are open. And of course, if Bitcoin goes down to here, I do expect dominance to pick up once again, and I think altcoins are going to react. And I still do believe ADA has a chance to go back down to 56.8%. I don't know why I'm saying percent. I mean the price point, 56.8 cents price point, I still think that is definitely on the table right now, unless of course we get into the 78.6, which of course I have no doubts in Cardano doing. We were showing a lot of strength for ADA not too long ago. Again, if you want to see what I'm talking about, you could see for yourself, we came very, very close in August to that dollar price point. And, after that, we were obviously not too far off to get back into 61.8. And one thing also you need to keep in mind is the 24-hour trading volume has remained above 1 billion, which is very impressive because a lot of other coins out there right now are not getting that retail bid, if you want to say. We had a discussion about that on the XRP video as well. The retail bid is not there. And even before this major retracement, there were not retail money that was bidding some of these coins, which told us that, there's not much retail interest. And again, that's something we talked about. And that was like a clear insight. And right now, some of the projects still do have capital flowing in. I mean, that could be retail, but mostly the bigger money flowing in. And I think ADA is one of them, in my opinion, based off of the way it has held since November. Yes, it's nowhere near, the 0.50 or the 61.8, but I do believe once you break above the 61.8, that's when the next wave starts. And I still do believe altcoin season is still coming. We still have a lot of time, but again, not financial advice. Only time is going to tell. But based off of historic price patterns, I think once Bitcoin stabilizes itself, we are going to see, this year still ending off on a positive note. But we got to take it one step at a time, of course. Make sure you are, doing your due diligence. Make sure you are, having an exit strategy in place. Obviously, if you're in it for the long haul, then you guys know patience is your number one key to follow. But again, I'll keep you guys covered. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Follow me on X if you have not done so already. We'll see you later. Been Crypto ZX and peace out.